Gary, as one of the vets on the team, have you noticed a difference with the group having some continuity at where you guys were able to start off with at training camp as opposed to prior seasons, like get more right into things rather than having a bunch of installs or verbiage?
Yeah, no, I think it's been night and day since last training camp. I know we had, especially me, like I wasn't even in training camp last year. I was coming back from surgery. So just being out there on the floor with guys, I just remember like the first year, Oz had to do a lot of stopping defensively. I just feel like a lot of stuff is carried over since last year, a lot of continuity, and everybody's familiar with each other. So it's definitely some cleanup we have to do with the turnovers and stuff. But like as far as like the practice and like getting transitioning and going through things, understanding, it's been night and day. I think everybody's grown up, everybody's matured, and it's been great. These past 3 days have been great. Guys have been great energy in the gym. We've been listening, following directions, doing everything the coaches asked. So it's been fun.
How different is kind of the vibe? I know we talked a little bit about it Monday about how like there's just a confidence and an optimism about the season. But now that you've had a couple practices, how different does the camp atmosphere feel?
I think it's just like we all locked in. We all working towards the same goal. And I'm not saying that we weren't doing that last year, but like just going through the season last year and just the ups and downs, especially starting off so slow and then coming together and making that play and push. Like guys came into camp motivated. Guys know the goal is to make the playoffs, and we're all in here pushing each other, holding each other accountable. And it's a competitive nature. It's a competitive vibe, but it's fun. People like coming in here to work. It's easy. It's fun. And camp's been great so far.
You've heard a lot of players and Coach Mosley talk about how players are holding each other accountable. What does that actually look like in the midst of a practice?
Just talking, communicating. Just being able to tell guys what they need to be. If somebody's not doing the right thing, just being able to be like, yo, come on, lock in. Like just all the right things. Like it's not necessarily having the coaches doing it. Everybody says a player-coach team is better than a coach-coach team. A lot of us are seeing stuff out there, and we know what we need to do, and we know where guys need to be. So just holding guys accountable and not waiting for the coaches to say something, especially if we know what to do.
Jamie mentioned the other day that the coaches were holding y'all accountable. There was some conversation, maybe a spirited one at that. Do you think that conversation would have happened a year ago?
I think it would have happened a year ago, but I just think guys have matured. Everybody, it's more of a sense of urgency this year coming into the year. We have a lot in front of us, the whole season in front of us, but we're looking to get off to a good start. We started off 5-20 last year, so we're definitely trying to do everything we can not to start like that. And if we can keep the pace that we were playing once everybody got healthy, playoffs is the goal. We're not shying away from it. So, we coming in locked in. That's what we're trying to do.
Do you think that the continuity for the team this year gives y'all an advantage in the early part of the year because y'all are kind of coming in from this not at square one?
I think anytime you can have some type of continuity, we pretty much brought everybody back. Joe come in, Joe's been in the league. He knows where to go, what to do. Like it's easy for Joe to pick up. So I think it's been easy, and I think it does give us advantage compared to some teams who might have to start all over, might have lost a few guys. So just having pretty much everybody back is definitely an advantage.
With the rookies, it's important for them to come in, earn everyone's trust, teammates, coaches. For you, what does that look like? When do you start trusting those guys on the court?
You see Anthony Black. He's shooting right now. I'll shoot with Jet all the time. Like these guys put the work in. They want to listen. They ask questions. It's a good group. They're very young. They're young guys. They only did 1 year of college, but they're mature young guys. And they want to learn. They want to get better. And they understand like the urgency that everybody else is playing with. And, they've been able to fit in easy. They know how to play the game of basketball. So the trust has already started with them.
For guys that have been in the league, how do you approach your first preseason?
Like in what sense?
What do you want to accomplish? What do you want to see?
Each day is just getting better. You don't know. We playing against each other, so it's good to finally go out there and beat up on somebody else. Just use the principles we learn here, and then go out there and execute. Everything's not gonna be perfect, but we're gonna go out there, play hard, and compete, watch the film, and learn what we need to get better from, and then try to apply it in the next preseason game.
How much of a gauge is a preseason game?
As in what sense? Gauge of what?
What you got, how good you could be, everything.
I think we see how good we can be just every day in practice. You never know until you get out there. So you just don't know until we get out there and start playing.
Everybody
Good.
Thanks, Gary.
Thanks, Gary.
Coach, as you look at training camp day 3, what was the focus of today, and was it a continuation defensively, or did you start to branch out into some of the other areas?
Well, today was about we played a bit more today, which I thought was great. You know, a lot of things we've been drilling and playing in the half court a little bit, but today we were able to get up and down more, which I thought was great.
You know, as you get into those areas, you really start to see in real time how players are grasping the concepts. How did you feel, you know, some of the young guys were grasping all the things that you guys have been installing?
I think there's going to still be a learning curve. I think they picked up a few things, but then there's obviously things that they're going to have to continue to work on. Obviously, offensively, you know, we'll probably be behind our defense, but I think where we are defensively, I like it. Our guys are playing with a sense of urgency, a tenacity, each time they step on the floor.
Because you're in your third year and because of the roster continuity, are you able to branch things a little bit on offense at all? I mean, you talk about defense being ahead. Is that because of the offense? Just you talked about tweaks yesterday, but are you branching things at all?
Well, the great part about it is these guys, they're allowing it to be branched out, right? Like we can run the same thing, but now they're starting to make the reads that they found last year where defenses would take one thing away, they can make the adjustment. I think they've done a great job of that, recognizing it early. So we keep the same simple sets, but how do they get so comfortable in it that they're making the reads themselves? That's what we're asking these guys to do, that they make the reads on the fly themselves.
And the fact that they're able to make those reads on the fly, that helps you as a coach. You talk about them coaching each other on this, right?
You know what? The better that they coach themselves, the better we look as coaches, I guess. But I really think it's these guys really holding themselves accountable, pushing each other to a higher level and a higher standard. That's going to be the way in which we continue to grow.
Jamal, as far as conditioning, is this something that you also take in consideration, having to build up to game time conditioning?
Absolutely. You know, I was talking to a few friends the other day throughout the league, and that's going to always be the one that you're trying to decide what is the right amount. You know, you want to ramp up as these preseason games come through camp, but you want to be ready when that first game hits. So it's a different and tricky balance, but trying to find the right amount of it for these guys and trusting our performance team has been a great part there.
And as this being your third year, how has it been as far as the routine of 1 year, 2 year, 2 year? Does it become more smoothly, or does it depend on your personnel and the teammates that you have?
Well, that's the great part about the continuity and bringing everybody back in. You know, to Beatty's question right there, I think the ability to have guys that have been here, that know what you expect, you're able to teach things quicker, and you can dive into some other things that you may not have been able to get to so early with a group that already understands exactly what they're being asked.
For Franz specifically, do you feel like getting to the free throw line is something you can do more this year?
Yes, I really do, and I want all of our guys to do that. I think our ability to attack the paint, and we have size, we have length, we have strength, and I think that can be one of our offensive keys for us this year.
Do you sense Franz being stronger this year? It looked like it when he was playing for Germany.
He absolutely is, and I think a lot of people, when they watched him play for Germany, people saw what we have known for quite some time. You know, obviously his basketball IQ, how he gets to the free throw line, but then his aggression of when and where to get to the basket.
How much of a gauge is the preseason game?
I think it does a ton for us. It allows you to look at different combinations, different rotations. The guys get their level of game time conditioning that you may not be getting in practice. I think it's a great gauge for us to be able to see what these guys are capable of doing.
And everything you put on paper for a preseason game, do you try to throw it all in one, or do you spread it out through the four? How do you?
You treat it as an extension of training camp. I think you have to look at where you want to be in certain things, and if you don't hit those marks, you don't get upset with it. You just continue with the process of making sure you hit the marks you need to. So that goes along the lines of us as the players as well as coaches, as we're not going to skip steps.
With Franz and Paolo playing in the World Cup and playing those meaningful games and high pressure games, are you seeing some of the things that they may have learned, or are you seeing them kind of take their intensity up, knowing, having a little taste of what it's like to play high-level competitive basketball and like very meaningful basketball over the summer?
I think their intensity turns up because, being around, other great players and then competing at a high level, you tend to raise the bar. And what they've done is they've continued to raise the bar, not just with themselves, but with their teammates as well.
Coach, there was a couple predictions made about the defense this week. AB said top 10 if everything clicks. Jalen even went a step further to say top 5 if everything clicks. Do you want to add to that prediction line?
I will add that we're going to continue to work and compete every single day, and the numbers will take care of themselves. And again, I love and I embrace everything that our guys say because I think it's fantastic that we want to be there. But I want them to also understand that we got to make sure that we're doing the things that will help us get there every single day.
Do you like the team having that kind of confidence?
100%. I think they got to know that to get on that floor, you got to be a high-level defender, and you're doing it for your teammates the entire time.
How important is forcing turnovers with this defense? You know, during the middle of last year, it seemed like y'all were forcing turnovers to create that offense. Do you have that same emphasis this year? Is it your number one priority when creating this defense?
Our number one priority is obviously always going to get stops, and how that comes will be in different forms. You know, whether that's us being vertical and protecting the rim, or that's getting a steal whether that's getting a steal out in transition. It's going to be different ways in which we do it, but protecting the basket is the number one thing for us right now.
Coach, how excited are you to see Paulo and Franz really grow as a duo this year?
I'm really excited. I think they've done a great job of pushing each other. Obviously, individually, where they were, obviously Germany, and then, with USA. But their ability to grow and get better and push each other, not just on the court, but off the court as well.
Good.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Franz, going into the first 3 days of training camp, what stood out to you about this team and about the way training camp's begun?
I think we had great energy, and I think we had good accountability from the coaches and from ourselves. When we don't do well in a drill, it's well communicated. I think that's very important, especially at the start of camp, to set the tone for the rest of the year.
Have you noticed the continuity that's with this group, the ability for this team to kind of pick up where they left off with a lot of the installs and maybe be a little bit more advanced at the start of training camp than prior seasons?
Yeah, for sure, especially defensively. I think you can see that right away. We kind of know already what's expected of us, but at the same time, it's just our third day, so we still got to get used to playing with each other again, and obviously make sure that everybody else that's new and doesn't know everything yet, that we kind of help them out and make sure that everybody's on the same page.
It's your third training camp. How is camp different for you? Do you notice it, being maybe easier, or maybe not easier, but do you notice it being just different, like you're more comfortable? Like how is camp different for you this time of the year?
I'm definitely more confident within myself. I think that's just the normal part of getting a little bit older, but I just try to do my job, try to play every minute really focused out here, and just try to see what's needed for my team. Obviously my responsibility is a little higher than my rookie year, so just want to make sure that I do that the best I can.
You played a lot of basketball over the summer overseas, then you took 3 weeks off, I think you said, media day. How do you physically feel a couple days in the camp?
Yeah, I feel really good. I didn't take all the 3 weeks off, no worries. I did do something just to be ready for this. So physically I'm feeling really good, but it's always different going up and down, and playing against NBA players is way different than working out by yourself. So I think that's been really, really good for me these past couple of days, getting back into a rhythm, actually playing against these guys, and I feel really good.
With playing all those games over the summer, what do you want to get out of these first couple of preseason games?
I think the biggest thing is our chemistry, making sure that we're on the same page on the court. A lot of talking, a lot of, like I said, holding each other accountable, and kind of setting the tone for how we want to not just play, but be as a group together for the next couple months.
We've heard a lot of guys talk about holding each other accountable, and it's one of kind of the leading players on this team, one of the team leaders. What does that look like for you? What do you have to do to kind of keep everyone on task, or what do people have to do with you to keep you on task sometimes?
I think just everybody has a really good relationship with each other off the court, so I think just being comfortable, not calling someone out, but saying it out loud that we need to be better at this. And I think everybody does it in the same way, but at the same time understanding that it's coming from a positive place and knowing that we can do better, and not trying to call anyone out, but just wanting the best for the whole group.
Wendell said on media day that the energy has shifted with the team. Would you agree with that, and if so, how?
Yeah, I would just say that we're building on what we did last year. I felt that shift a lot last year. Like I said at media day, I thought we played really well. The second half of the season, basically, even a little bit more. And I think we're just building on what we did last year.
I know you,
Is getting to the free throw line something you really want to add to your game even more this year?
Yeah, I mean, I said that before, playing more physical, using my body a little bit better. Obviously, that's going to get easier as I get stronger, but that's definitely been something that I've been working on and focusing on in games and practices.
Was hitting the weight room a big part of your offseason, right?
Yeah, I mean, as much as I can. I lifted a fair amount, but it's not like I want to hit a certain weight target or anything like that. I think my body's going to fill out pretty natural, and but getting strong is definitely a huge part of my development.
What have you made so far of the two rookies during the first 3 days here?
I'm really impressed. They're really focused. They understand what we're doing. They're not the ones messing up drills, and I think stuff like that goes a long way. Just knowing from my own experience, there's a lot going on in your first training camp, a lot of nerves, first time NBA practice, stuff like that. So I'm really impressed with them, and even playing wise, I think you can see the high IQ, and I'm really excited to play with them.
How much is a preseason game a real telling point, a real gauge of what you got?
I mean, I think it's just the next step. I don't think it's very comparable to an actual NBA game, but I mean, it's a real basketball game against the same players. So I think it is a good gauge of kind of seeing where you're at. And but like I said, I think it's just a stepping stone preparing for the season as it should be.
I know you said Monday the World Cup's kind of its own thing. It's a little bit different. But how much did that experience of playing kind of that high level basketball, competing and winning a championship essentially, how much has that maybe changed your perspective on the work that you have to do here, or do you kind of see some similarities in how this team's preparing to how that team prepared? Like how much has that experience kind of helped you guide this team a little bit early on?
Yeah, it's not changing a whole lot, but I definitely learned a lot, and what I learned I want to bring to this. I mean, at the end of the day, this is basketball. We're trying to build a winning culture, and being part of that team. I think there are certain things that I learned from that we can apply to our group, and I think we're doing that already. So, that's my responsibility, and that's still a role I'm stepping into. Making sure that I bring that to the other guys a little bit.
Franz, how does having such a deep and healthy group in this training camp compare to previous ones?
Wait, can you say that?
How does having such a deep and healthy group right now in training camp make you feel?
It's awesome seeing everybody healthy, and that's what we need to make sure that we have a good start to the season. Build chemistry from the start and not start after 30-some games or something like that. I think that's always tough, especially for the people that are coming back from an injury. So it's super cool to see everybody healthy.
Franz, how has Coach Mosley maybe grown in entering his third training camp as a coach?
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's the driving force, I would say, behind everything that we're doing and leading the charge with that. We talked about accountability a lot now. I think he's stepping into our role and telling other people to do the same. I think he's doing an incredible job with that, and I think we're all super lucky to have him as our coach.
Everybody good?
All right.
Perfect. Thank you.